In a heartbreaking case, an Indigenous man, Stanley Russell, was shot by police officers on November 9, 2021, seeking to arrest him on an outstanding warrant. A New South Wales Deputy State Coroner, Carmel Forbes, has now delivered her findings into the incident and expressed dissatisfaction with the officer's policy breach in relation to body-worn cameras. Her recommendations call for clarification in officer requirements to wear body-worn cameras with the hope of preventing further deaths resulting from police operations or arrests. The Gomeroi man, aged 45, was sadly unable to read or write and lived with mental health illnesses, substance abuse issues, and childhood trauma caused by sexual abuse. In the coroner's court, Forbes recalled the further trauma caused by the death of his brother in prison custody. She expressed serious concern that none of the 4 officers attending the scene had fully complied with their obligations under the police policy on body-worn cameras. It was only after the incident, when Russell had already been fatally shot, that some officers activated their cameras, and one was not wearing one at all. Such action, Forbes pointed out, is a serious breach of police policy and certainly an important safeguard for police and the public. Forbes has made further recommendations for policy changes. She has encouraged police officers to properly assess the risks of an arrest operation before making an arrest, and has noted the need for greater clarity in police policy so that officers understand their obligations to wear body cameras. The coroner also proposed a new policy whereby the Aboriginal Legal Service allows First Nations people to surrender themselves at a police station, instead of a bench arrest warrant being issued, in the hope of preventing similar tragedies in the future. The legal counsels and families of Stanley Russell gave their reactions to the findings outside the coroner's court. Scripting her own policy in remembrance of Stanley, Elizabeth Jarrett has called for Stanley's protocol to be immediately implemented and for the Royal Commission into Aboriginal Deaths in Custody recommendations from 3 decades ago to be taken seriously. Forbes' findings show that justice for Stanley and for Aboriginal people who, unfortunately, are still all too often victims of such incidents, can still be achieved, and that further preventative measures can ward off any similar occurrences in the future. Her words prove that victims of police brutality and the families who have suffered the most still have some hope at closure, and that the tragedies can be used to bring about change. The story of Stanley Russell is devastating and serves as a reminder of far too many suffering similar injustices and racism. This is why it is essential that the coroner's findings are taken seriously by all parties, and that policy changes are provided, so justice can be served and further preventative measures can be in place.